It is 6:42 on a Tuesday evening. You have just sat down. Your food is getting cold. Your phone lights up. Hey, I know this is last minute, but could you help me with something tomorrow? You do not want to. Tomorrow is already full. You are tired. And, if you are honest, you have helped this person 3 times this month. But your thumb is already moving. Of course, no problem. The moment you send it, something strange happens. You feel relief. Not because you want to do it, you do not. You feel relief because you escaped a much scarier feeling, the possibility that they might be disappointed in you. So you say yes, again. And a few seconds later, the relief turns into resentment. You stare at your plate. You are annoyed at them for asking. Then you are annoyed at yourself for agreeing. Then, somehow, you end up feeling guilty for being annoyed at all. If that feels familiar, you may not be too nice. You may be stuck in people pleasing. And people pleasing is not really about making other people happy. It is about trying to make yourself safe. The problem is that it works. At first, every yes buys you a few quiet seconds. No awkward pause, no raised eyebrow, no chance that someone thinks you are selfish, difficult, lazy, cold, or not a team player. But those seconds get expensive. Because every time you say yes, when you mean no, you hand a tiny piece of your time, energy, and attention to someone else. One piece does not seem like much. Then one day, you look around and realize your entire week belongs to other people. Your calendar is full of favors. Your messages are full of apologies. Your head is full of things you said you would do, while the things you actually care about keep getting pushed to later. And the worst part is this: people might still not be happy with you. That is the deal people pleasing quietly offers you. It says, be endlessly helpful, endlessly available, endlessly easy, and everyone will love you. But it cannot keep that promise, because there is no amount of effort that guarantees nobody will ever be disappointed. So, how do you stop? Not by becoming rude, not by saying no to everything, and not by suddenly acting like you do not care what anyone thinks. You stop by learning one uncomfortable skill. You let other people have feelings that are not your job to fix. That sounds simple. It is not easy. So, let us start with why this happens in the first place. Imagine that, somewhere along the way, your brain learned a rule. Maybe you learned it at home. Maybe at school. Maybe in a friendship where you had to keep the peace. The rule sounds like this: if someone is upset with me, I am in danger. Not physical danger necessarily. Sometimes the danger is rejection, distance, silence, an argument, being called selfish, being left out. So your brain gets very good at scanning the room. Who looks annoyed? Who needs help? Who has not replied? What could you say to make this less awkward? You become the person who remembers birthdays, smooths over arguments, takes on extra work, answers immediately, and says, sorry, before anyone has even accused you of anything. From the outside, that can look generous. But inside, it often feels exhausting. Because you are not choosing kindness freely. You are trying to prevent something. And when kindness comes from fear, it has a hidden cost. Let us call it the invisible invoice. Every time you agree to something you do not want, you send an invoice to yourself. You pay with sleep. You pay with focus. You pay with the gym session you skip, the project you delay, the evening you do not get back, the message you answer while pretending you are fine. At first, the bill is small. Then resentment starts collecting interest. Maybe you become short with people. Maybe you disappear for days because replying feels like too much. Maybe you fantasize about deleting every app and moving to a cabin in the woods. And then someone asks you for one small thing and you explode. Not because that one request was huge, because it landed on top of 100 invisible invoices. This is why people-pleasing does not actually create better relationships. It creates relationships where one person is constantly guessing, managing, and overgiving, while the other person often has no idea there is a problem. They think you are okay because you keep telling them you are okay. So the first step is not learning how to say no. The first step is noticing when your yes is not really a yes. Here is a useful test. The next time someone asks you for something, notice what happens in your body before you answer. Do you feel open and willing, or do you feel a little drop in your stomach, followed by panic, followed by an automatic sure? That panic is important. It does not always mean you should say no, but it does mean you should not answer immediately. People pleasers often treat every request like an emergency. A friend needs a reply. A colleague needs help. Someone wants a favor. A family member has an opinion. Your brain says, answer now. Fix it now. Make the feeling go away now. But urgency is one of people pleasing's favorite tricks. Most requests can survive a pause. Try this sentence. Let me check and get back to you. That is it. Not a lie. Not an excuse. Not a detailed explanation about your schedule, your energy level, your dog, your childhood, and the weather. Just a pause. At first, this can feel almost ridiculous. You may think, why can't I just answer like a normal person? But the pause gives you something people pleasing rarely gives you: a choice. Without the pause, you react to their discomfort. With the pause, you can ask yourself a different question. Not, will they be upset if I say no? Ask, what will it cost me if I say yes? That question changes everything. Maybe the answer is, not much. You genuinely want to help. Great. Say yes. Maybe the answer is, it costs you an evening, but this person matters to you, and this is a rare situation. Also fine. But maybe the answer is, it costs you the last bit of energy you have. It makes you cancel something important. It turns your whole weekend into another obligation. Then, your no is not selfish. It is information. It is your life telling you that you have reached the edge of what you can give. Now comes the part that usually feels hardest: actually saying it. Most people pleasing does not happen because we do not know the word no. It happens because we think no needs a courtroom defense. We think we need evidence, a sick relative, a deadline, a flight, a very convincing reason that no one can argue with. But a boundary is not a debate invitation. You do not need to make your no unarguable. You only need to make it clear. Instead of saying, I am so sorry, I wish I could, I just have this thing and maybe later, and I feel awful. Try, I can't make it this time. Or, I don't have capacity for that this week. Or, I'm not able to take that on. Short sentences can feel sharp when you are used to cushioning every message with 10 pillows, but clear is not cruel. Clear is kind. It gives the other person an honest answer. It lets them make another plan. And it stops you from agreeing now and resenting them later. Of course, some people will not love your new boundaries. This is the moment where many people give up. Someone says, oh, I thought you would help. Or, it will only take 5 minutes. Or the classic, you have changed. And suddenly, you feel the old panic. You want to explain. You want to fix their mood. You want to take it all back. But pause. Their disappointment is not proof that you did something wrong. It is proof that they wanted something you were not able or willing to give. Those are different things. A healthy relationship has room for that. The people who care about you may need time to adjust. They may be surprised. They may even be disappointed. But they do not need you to disappear inside the relationship to feel loved. And if someone only likes you when you are useful, available, and easy to control, that is not a boundary problem. That is information too. There is one more trap to watch out for. You might start people pleasing your way through boundaries. You might say no, then spend 3 hours replaying the conversation. You might set a limit, then send a follow-up message apologizing for the limit. You might finally choose yourself, then punish yourself for it. This is where you need a new rule. Feeling guilty does not mean you are guilty. Sometimes guilt is a useful signal. It tells us we broke a promise or hurt someone, but sometimes it is just the feeling of doing something unfamiliar. If you have spent years keeping everyone comfortable, choosing yourself can feel wrong even when it is exactly right. So do not ask, do I feel guilty? Ask, did I act against my values? Did you lie? Did you insult someone? Did you deliberately hurt them? Or did you simply say no to something you could not give? Those are not the same. Now think back to that message at 6:42 on Tuesday evening. This time, you do not answer right away. You put your phone down. You finish your food. You check your calendar. You check your energy. You ask what saying yes would cost you. And then you write, I can't help tomorrow, but I hope it goes well. You stare at the screen. Your finger hovers over send. Your heart beats a little faster. Then you send it. Maybe they reply with a thumbs up. Maybe they are disappointed. Maybe they do not reply at all. And you survive it. That is the part no one tells you about boundaries. They are not one big, confident transformation. They are a series of small moments where you let yourself survive being misunderstood. The first no may feel terrible. The 10th one will feel less terrible. And eventually, you may notice something surprising. The people who stay in your life do not become less real when you stop performing for them. They become more real. And so do you. You do not have to earn your place in every room by being the easiest person in it. You do not have to say yes before you know what you want. And you do not have to carry everyone else's comfort at the cost of your own. Kindness is still kindness when it includes you, especially when it includes you. The next time your phone lights up with a request, do not rush. Take a breath. Give yourself a pause. And remember, a no can disappoint someone for a moment, but a dishonest yes can disappoint you for much longer.